Residents of Plettenberg Bay have started to evacuate as a blaze that devastated parts of Knysna have moved to the neighbouring seaside town. Overnight in Knysna, up to 10,000 people had to be evacuated from their homes. Let's get more now from our reporter on the scene, Lerato Thipa. She joins us from Knysna. Lerato, good afternoon to you. So the fire is spreading now to Plet. Things still quite serious as we're getting those reports of evacuations and the fire spreading. Give us a sense of exactly where you are now and what the situation is at the moment.
I think it's honestly important that we paint the reality of how bad this fire has been. Earlier on, we crossed for a more urban area called Knysna Heights, a predominantly white urban area that was also burnt down. But it's also good for us to reflect the other side of the coin, the other people, those in the township who have been affected by this fire as well. If you just look behind me, just at a distance, the house just behind me was obviously a shack of a lady who we're going to speak to shortly. Her house has literally burned down, Natasha. Unlike earlier on the house that we saw, which was just roof, this particular house where she stayed with her family has been completely gutted down by the fire. She joins me here this afternoon, and I think it's important that we tell the story of those who have been affected by this fire as well. Bulelo khasibasela kancinci ba bekwenzeke ntoni umlilo waqala apha eNyzna and then kwenzeka ntoni kwindlu yakho?
Into eyenzekileyo izolo phaa ngabo 8 sibona umlilo usitsha ngapha ngasehlathini, izindlu zethu zikufishana apha ehlathini, wabusithi gqi ngapha ngaseGeorge. Sithe sisajonge leyo into zatsha izindlu zaphela, khange sikhuphe nix endlini, sibaleke nje neziqu ezi zethu sodwa.
So wena bule ngokutshe indlu yakho yonke itshile, akho nto ishekileyo, uziva njani njengoba ngoku ungenanto uhlala?
Ndisiva kabuhlungu kakhulu ngoba kutshe nebhedi zathi zabantwana ne-ID andinanix ndiphelele kwezi zinto zinxibileyo, ne-uniform yabantwana yonke into. Indlu yam ibingu-4 rooms, kutshe kwanto.
Ke ngokubulela uzohlala phi ngondawo yohlala? Ikhona indawo umasipala athe ngabohlala kuyo okanye likhona indawo okanye isapho ozohlala kulo?
Ikhona indawo endihlala kuyo ngokuya sihlobo sam. Umasipala akakabikho for usinceda.
Ingaba ke ngoku wena uziva njani kwaye ufana mhlawumbi umasipala kwenzele ntoni njengokuba indlu yakho ingesekho?
Ndifuna umasipala andakhele indlu nabuyise nezinto eziyathengela abantwana abam impahla, sibe nento zonxiba, asinakutya, asinanix, asiniphangeli, ndinabantwana abayi-2.
Okay, that was Bulelwa Billy, who is a resident in this area called White Township. She was just saying, as we're speaking to her, that her house, a 4-bedroom house, has been completely gutted down by the fire. Everything from birth certificates to IDs, her children's school uniform, everything has gone and she has nothing left. She also was appealing to the municipality to please try and assist. She says currently she has nowhere to stay. She's walking around in this township looking for help, and she really is urging if anyone could assist her with some form of shelter as she tries to rebuild the pieces of her life. What also has been amazing, Natasha, to note is that as we were walking around this particular township, we saw members of the Council of the National SPCA. We know that obviously besides the human beings who were affected, there are also animals who are affected by this fire as well, and they also have come all the way from Johannesburg to try and see how they can help. It's been really beautiful to note that in this town of Knysna, a really small population of 77,000 people, we've seen people come together, offer blankets, offer food. There are obviously people who were evacuated, placed in community centres, and we've seen that how in the midst of people's pain, the community, both in the township and in Knysna as a whole, have come together and say, let's see what we can do to support these people. So I think if there's any positive story that comes from this fire that's really caused havoc in really a prime holiday destination here in the Cape, is that people of this town are saying they're going to do what they can. They're going to unite and help those in need in trying to help them rebuild their lives again. That's it for us here in Knysna. Later on we'll give you an update of how far the fire is, how many people are still being evacuated, and also what the firefighters are doing to try and bring this fire under control. But for now, Natasha, it's back to you in studio.
Lerato, thanks so much. Our reporter on the scene in Knysna, Lerato Thipa. We'll get more from her in our news at 1. Let's take you now to